Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 5th edition of the We Are In conference. I'm Caterina Mendicino, advisor in monetary policy, and one of the founders of this event, which the ECB jointly organized with the CEPR and the BIS. At the ECB, we are particularly delighted to host this year's conference for the first time here in Frankfurt, which makes this anniversary edition even more special for us. And it is such a pleasure for me to see so many of you here today and to know that some more are connected online, waiting for the start of the conference. But before we start, let me just a quick note on logistics. So we are a bit tight on time, so I would like to ask you to keep discussing about the papers and the topics of the sessions, also during the breaks. And now, in the interest of time, let me stop here and invite Ms. Schnabel on the stage to welcome all of us. I'm sure she doesn't need any introduction. She's our member of the executive board here at the ECB, and we are looking forward to hear her words. Thank you very much. Isabel.
Good morning, everybody. It's my great pleasure to open the 5th edition of the We Are in Macroeconomics and Finance conference, jointly organized by the ECB, the BIS, and the CEPR. Let me warmly welcome all of you, and especially all women economists, early career researchers, senior scholars, and students who have joined us today in Frankfurt. We have 2 very interesting days ahead of us, discussing cutting-edge research by both established and emerging female economists. Allow me to briefly reflect on the purpose, history, and aspirations of this conference. The We Are In initiative, that is, Women in Economics, Advancing Research in Economics Internationally, was launched to amplify the voices, contributions, and networks of women in macroeconomics and finance, particularly at the intersection of academic research and policy. This conference is a central platform for that mission. It fosters exchange among female scholars, strengthens professional networks, and addresses the persistent underrepresentation of women in economics and the gender gap in career outcomes. Providing support to young women through mentoring, networking, and visibility has proven essential in helping close those gaps. And this is precisely why gatherings such as today's conference matter. The very first edition of this conference, opened by President Lagarde, took place remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic. At the time of physical isolation, it created a vital space for staying connected, a reminder that strong professional networks are not a luxury, but a necessity. Since then, the We Are In conference has grown into one of the ECB's flagship events. Each year, it brings together researchers whose work engages with the key issues faced by central banks and policy institutions. This is also a broader recognition that diversity strengthens the quality and relevance of economic debate. Attempts to discredit diversity and downplay its importance do not refute scientific findings that diverse teams produce better outcomes. This conference embodies that principle. Marking its 5th anniversary, this edition is evidence of the expanding presence of outstanding women in macroeconomics and finance, an area where women have always been and still are underrepresented. The fact that the ECB, the BIS, and the CEPR co-host this conference underlines our shared commitment to building bridges between academia and policy and to making our profession both more inclusive and more impactful. Supporting the next generation of young researchers is central to this mission. Current pressures on the academic job market make this support even more important. The PhD poster session offers emerging scholars an opportunity to showcase their work, engage directly with senior researchers, and gain visibility within our community. And this really matters. Turning to the conference program, we are happy to have such a great collection of papers which provide the analytical foundation for understanding how our economies function and how policymakers can respond to current developments. The papers presented this year comprise a wide range of pressing issues, from financial intermediation, climate finance, innovation, productivity, and geopolitics, to monetary fiscal interactions and the role of heterogeneity. At their core, all papers address a fundamental question: how can our economies deliver strong, inclusive, and sustainable growth while safeguarding stability in an increasingly uncertain world? The research presented here points towards 4 strategic priorities. First, we must reimagine our financial systems amid digital and climate-driven change to understand evolving risks and seize new opportunities. Financial infrastructures and markets are undergoing profound transformations due to technological advancements. Digitalization is changing financial transactions at their core, introducing new infrastructures, payment systems, and institutions. Understanding these changes is crucial to identify both opportunities and risks for growth and stability. At the same time, climate change remains one of the key challenges of our time. Many initiatives are underway to create incentives for the financial system to support the transition towards greener and more sustainable finance. These should not be reversed due to changes in political moods. Second, we need to unlock productivity through people, not just technology. The productivity challenge facing advanced economies is often portrayed merely as a technology gap, favoring early movers. Yet, research shows it is equally a diffusion gap. Talented managers are systematically misallocated. This points to 2 priorities: improving how we train and match managerial talent within firms, and ensuring that markets remain competitive so that each technological wave creates opportunities for new champions rather than entrenching incumbents. Third, we must prepare for a more fragmented global economy. Geopolitical tensions are reshaping our economies. As trade routes shift, we see not only new patterns of commerce, but also changes in pricing power, currency denomination, and credit conditions. When cross-border lending retreats, exposures may migrate into affiliate structures that escape oversight. Fragmentation may bring new inflationary pressures, alter credit conditions, and generate risks that current frameworks may not fully capture. Policymakers must therefore rethink the design of sanctions, cross-border payments, and prudential buffers to reflect the new reality in which firms and banks operate. Fourth, we need to constantly rethink our monetary toolkit. Recent research has challenged conventional wisdom. Household differences may matter less for aggregate demand than we thought, shifting attention to sectoral propagation through supply chains. Fiscal monetary interactions can be more powerful than traditional models suggest. And monetary policy itself appears to work faster and more forcefully than previous estimates implied once shocks are properly identified. These insights require that we invest in granular data, sector-specific analysis, and frameworks that capture the full range of transmission channels to make our policy more effective. Across all these themes, one message stands out. The challenges of growth, stability, and transition cannot be solved by institutions alone. They require diverse voices, your voices, rigorous evidence, and collaboration across boundaries. That is why this gathering matters so much. The the focus on women in macroeconomics and finance is not only about representation. It is about unlocking talent, creativity and insights that make our policies and our economies stronger. The challenges are significant, but the expertise and energy represented in this room give me great confidence. Let us use these 2 days not only to deepen our understanding, but also to inspire each other to build an economy that is more resilient, innovative, and inclusive. I invite all of you to engage actively. Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, exchange ideas across sessions, and build connections that will outlast the event itself. I wish us all a fantastic conference, and I'm sure that you're going to enjoy the 5th edition of We Are In. Thank you very much.